Welcome to the Hang with Mike and Matt.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Matt. Seems like a long time.
That's right.
I feel like I don't know how to do the show now. We're starting from scratch, man.
I feel terrible. I was sick last week, and you know, men are such babies when they're sick. Myself, I'm like the biggest baby. I thought it was like the end of the world for me, and it was like, you know, less than 48 hours later, I was feeling great.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
but I was so worried. I'm going, I don't want to get. Nobody get what I have.
Well,
it's like, it's just a common, like, little quick cold.
But still, I'd rather not get your cold. If we can miss the Hang 1 week and I don't get sick, I would go for that.
Yeah. No, I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, Donna was like, because I got the diverticulitis and it wasn't going away.
It's back, baby.
A couple weeks, and then Donna's like, "You're usually so upbeat, even when you're sick, but now you keep saying you're gonna die." And I'm like,
Are you not feeling great? Like,
no,
I mean,
I
know you're not feeling great, but
yeah, no, I feel fine enough. I can do whatever I want to do. I just have this pain, which I know is not normal. So if something's going on, and that's how diverticulitis feels. And I just don't, if you don't get, if it doesn't go away and it gets worse, they have to cut out a piece of your colon and you get a colostomy bag. And my sister had it done. My dad had it done, which means it's probably genetic.
My daddy's daddy before him had it done.
Every one member.
Wow.
So I'm like, I want to avoid that.
Oh man. Well, yeah, but how do you avoid it? I mean, I know you're doing some meds, which is good.
It's a bunch of bullshit because I'm naturally researching diverticulitis, like nobody's business.
Yeah,
I want to figure it out, and it's all the same stuff. It's like if you get this diverticulitis, you gotta switch to a liquid diet. Maybe do some walking and drink plenty of fluids. And it's like, yeah, well,
that's it.
That's for like uncomplicated diverticulitis. So I guess I got complicated diverticulitis, and they say you need antibiotics for that.
Okay.
And I took a full course, but it wasn't the Cipro, so now I'm trying the Cipro.
So now you're on the good stuff.
The good stuff that snaps your joint, snaps your tendons. Pretty excited about that.
I mean, think about it this way: it's good if it's going to snap your tendons.
That's true.
I mean, think about it like that.
Yeah.
Like that's no playing. That's no joke.
It's no joke. It's going to snap your tendons, but hey, it works.
Exactly. So I mean, look,
I'll take it. Because the last time I had it, I don't know, 7-8 years ago, and I went to a doctor and he gave me the stuff. It didn't work, and then Dr. Mark, he's not but he's like, he gave you the wrong thing because he probably didn't give me Cipro.
So Dr. Mark gave you Viagra.
He gave me Viagra and Cipro, and it was an incredible recovery.
So where is so here's what's weird. I'm terrible at even knowing where the organs are in a body.
Yeah.
Right?
Who knows? They're down here.
Yeah. Like I think somebody, I don't even know which one I'm thinking of that it turns out to be like back here.
That's the kidneys.
Okay. And I'm going, I always thought like the kidneys were up here, and then somebody shows you because if you look at it on like an organ chart,
yeah,
it's one thing because you're just looking at it in a picture. But if you actually look like a 3D model, you go, oh man, that's all the way
jammed in there.
It's really gross.
If I think
and
about
miraculous.
It makes me uncomfortable to think about my organs. All that stuff going on in there 24/7.
Oh my God. And then it all just functions around the heart. And once the ticker stops,
they're done.
Game over. It's a
bunch
big
of jobbers.
game. It's a big game of musical chairs. And the heart's the only one that, if the heart loses the chair, that's it.
You're done.
That's it.
I think the heart is a superior organ because, like you said, all the other organs rely on it. But they talked about guys who had heart transplants.
Yeah.
And like this one guy, the guy he got the heart from, committed suicide by shooting himself in the head in the garage. And then he got the guy's heart, and then he shot himself in the head in the garage.
No way.
And they say that there's DNA, this possibly memory DNA in your heart.
Passed it along.
It's crazy.
I was shown a video on, I don't know, one of these socials where they were transporting a heart, and they were transporting like out of the helicopter, and the guy dropped it, and then it got sent to the doctor, and the doctor's running with it, and then the doctor drops it.
The guy did like a Three Stooges fall.
Yes.
And you're like, and the heart goes just flying and rolling down the asphalt of the.
And I mean to laugh, but Jesus, what are the chances?
Didn't it seem like they couldn't even pick it up? It was like they were going and it's falling, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, it did look
that
Three
heart's-
Stooges.
Think it's still good?
I don't know. Wasn't there a guy that got a pig heart not too long ago?
Yeah, he made it 3 days, I think.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, he knew it. He's like, you know.
So it was
I'll do
either-
it for science.
Was it like a thing where, hey, look, man, we can't
Yes.
find a human heart. You can try this if you want, or was it like, you know, we'll keep you on the list? Like, how do you come to that determination of going, fuck it, I'll take the pig's
I'll
heart?
take the pig heart. I think like this guy. I think it was like his heart was so bad that you're not going to get a transplant at that. You know, you're not a candidate. You know, they're not going to waste a good
You're
heart.
not good enough for a human heart
No,
again?
they're not going to waste your heart on you. You're all diseased and
We'll give you a pig's heart.
so he's like, hey, give me the pig's heart.
Really? What else? Because a pig's the closest, right?
I guess.
I mean,
I don't know why. Why?
It's got to be size-wise, you think?
That could be it. I guess you can't be like a big ass cow heart just clogging up your whole
Right?
torso.
Yeah, because it's got to still fit in there. It's got to, you know,
It's got to fit.
all this stuff is smushed in there.
Yeah,
I'm no
human
doctor,
human
but it all
heart's
seems
like that.
smushed.
Human hearts are only like that, right? It's like that.
Yeah.
Something maybe.
Yeah, it's about like the size of if you
your
ball up your fist or
maybe.
something.
So you get a big old cow. You get a big old cow heart.
Just put it on the outside.
Yeah, I was
Come
going to say
on.
make a flesh sack and put it on the outside.
I thought they were going to start 3D printing all these organs a lot sooner.
Oh,
I know
can we
they've
get-
started doing some of that, but I don't know if it's actually like out of testing phase yet. But for a while, the whole conversation was like, oh, we're going to 3D print organs. Once these 3D printers come into play, everything's going to be good. And I don't know how that's working
I don't
out.
understand it. I just heard that the last astronauts who just came back were doing 3D printing of cells. I think it was. I don't know what that means, but that's what they were
In space?
In space. I don't. And hey, Donna asked this question: why is all these experiments got to be done in space?
I was just going to ask the same thing.
What's the difference with printing human cells with a 3D printer in your lab in Tacoma or orbiting the Earth? in
Furthermore,
zero gravity.
Yeah, furthermore, they have zero gravity accessible chambers here on Earth that they, right? Like, isn't there?
I know you can fly in a plane up high enough and experience, zero gravity.
So can't they just,
But what? It's like
it a little lower?
Doesn't it make it harder to do? I mean, your stuff's floating around and stuff constantly.
yeah, and for what?
So why? I don't get it.
That's a great
Nobody
point.
ever, Donna asked it. Nobody ever asked it. It's like, why? It's like these are experiments can only be done in space. What does that even mean?
Man, I don't.
I'm sure they get some bullshit.
It's some, yeah. Well, you have to know the effects of zero gravity on sperm. Like, oh, okay, do we?
Oh, see, yeah. Now I know that my sperm swim faster in zero gravity.
I was watching one of those like Sunday morning TV shows or whatever, and they have an artist on there, okay? And I want to say his name's like Jeff Koons or something like that. And he's a really famous artist. He's famous for like these big intricate sculptures and all this kind of stuff. And they were doing this interview with him, and he had built these little tiny pieces of art that were going to be the first pieces of art to land on the moon, okay? Something like that.
Yeah.
And then you could buy the piece of art in.
What, they bring it back from the moon?
Well, I believe it was the art stays there, but you buy an NFT of the art. So the art's on the moon, but you can say that it's your art and it's on the moon. And I'm just like, what? Like, I don't get it.
No, I don't get it at all.
It's an
At all.
outrageous price point for some of these artwork just to say it's
No.
on the moon. But it's like, why, of all the payload that you can choose to bring to the moon, you're going to go with an artist's pieces? Like, of all the important shit you can tote up there.
Maybe they're just trying to get the hype going. They know they're going to get play out of the artist. It's going to make worldwide news. I thought NFTs were like, pretty much shown to be worthless.
Well, worth is in the eye of the beholder. It's not worthless.
I mean, just on the market, it's like, they got the guy that bought the first NFT of the chimp, for $3 million. It's worth like 49 cents now.
It might come back. You never know. It might come back. It might happen.
I mean, what's to show? What do you? Okay, so I got the NFT of the digital chimp,
non-fungible token.
I got the non-fungible token, and I'm like, here, man. Here's I got this, and it's worth this and this, and you. So what do you do? Go, well. How's that not just a picture monkey? Show me. So you got to show everybody. No, I've got the paperwork that says this, because you could duplicate that like that.
Yes,
anybody could duplicate it.
Well, you kind of answered your own question there, because yes, you are now on the blockchain as being the original, the owner of that piece. It's a transaction on the blockchain that shows that yes, this is it. It's verified transaction. Boom, this is the only one. So that is technically approved.
I thought they sold like tons of NFTs. It's only one. You're only buying one. There's only one NFT of the monkey.
Well, or was there? The Bored Ape Yacht Club is what those NFTs were. So there's just a bunch of different variations of the.
But if
ape.
you bought it, you get that, and nobody else can have that NFT, or has everybody got the same NFT? Whoever bought it.
No, I mean, what's stopping you from going to a museum and taking a picture of the Mona Lisa, or buying, a artist rendition of the Mona Lisa and saying, "Oh, I've got a Mona Lisa at my house." Now, it's not the original, right? That's the argument. The only original Mona Lisa is the one, right? So that's the argument, and there is an argument to be made there. I think it's still a poorly formed argument at this time. I think as time goes on, it'll get better. I think with music, I think there's a definite place in it for that. I think I was talking to a band a couple years ago about this, because do you remember the guy Martin Shkreli?
Sounds familiar.
So he was the one that got put in jail for. I forget the exact charges, but he was the guy most notoriously known as jacking up the price on insulin, drugs, and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Even though that was not necessarily the case, they made him look really, really badly on it. But he had bought Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang Clan had made an album, and they go, "We're only making one. You can buy this, and you can do whatever you want with it. It's yours. We don't care, but there's only one being made." He was the guy who ended up getting that album. Well, then the feds, when his place, all his property got seized, I think they have this Wu-Tang album now. The feds do.
Yeah.
So it'll never see the light of day. But my point being, as music goes on, like if you're an artist, right, and you go, "Hey, look, I don't care. If you make $500,000 off an album, just as a number, and you go, all right, look." We can go through all the BS of pushing this album and doing interviews around it and hope to sell and da-da-da-da-da. Or you find a fan of yours that's wealthy and go, "Hey, man, you buy it. You'll have the only one." To the band, it doesn't necessarily matter unless they really care about getting their creativity out there. But it doesn't mean they can't play it live, right? But it's only one of one.
I mean... The world which you describe.
Am I making sense, or is it sound insane?
No, but the world which you describe, where only the rich will have the hottest new albums to play for them and their rich friends, is a disgusting world. It's a disgusting, world.
Dude, if you and I could get paid a couple $1 million a year to do private radio broadcasts for one wealthy guy, guess what we'd be doing? "Sir, this is your private broadcast. What do you want us to do?"
You are 100% right.
See?
I'm not, but I'm saying it is
a weird world to think about.
But for us commoners who just enjoy music, it's a terrible world when only the rich can have the music and keep it from you. It's like, that's the worst shit ever.
Well, there are also these other pools that you can sort of get involved with, where you buy sort of like a small fraction of it. Like there's this with artwork now, right? You can buy these famous paintings, but you're just buying a piece of it. You're buying a tiny fraction, right? And artwork has notoriously gone up over the years. It's one of the highest, margin items out there, right? In general, fine art.
Nobody's losing on that. I mean,
Right. So there's these websites and services that you can buy just a tiny bit. So I could tell you, yes, I own the Mona Lisa. I might own a 10 millionth of the Mona Lisa, but if I ever want to cash out, chances are that artwork is going to go up in value. I can sell my share and all this stuff. I don't know that much about it, but there are those little things you can get a piece of it. It's kind of interesting.
I don't want a piece of it.
I know you don't.
I think that's why what's the monkey's name?
The Bored Ape Yacht Club.
That's why the Bored Ape Yacht Club is worthless now, because the guy went all over like, I've got the original NFT, and everybody went, we don't give a fuck. It's a picture of a fucking digital picture of a monkey. It's completely worthless, buddy. That's what they said.
But there are the guys that went and spent a lot of money. Not only like Eminem. I think there's one Bored Ape that looks like Eminem. So I believe Eminem bought that one.
And that's why it's worth money.
Yes.
Because Eminem bought it.
There's a Justin Bieber one. I think Bieber bought the one that looks like him.
What a bunch of suckers, man.
Yeah, so
I get
it's
it.
interesting to see. But
I mean, if there was an NFT of me,
yeah, you naturally want to get
it.
Yeah, you naturally want to get it, right?
Yep.
I don't know. It's a crazy world.
I think like you're kind of onto something. It's like I think if we spend our time like just emailing Saudi princes or people in Qatar our tape, and then we could get hired for like $6 million a year.
No. I don't want anything to do with Saudi princes. I don't want
to get on their bad side.
I don't want anything to do with those. I'm still frustrated over the Khashoggi thing. I can't imagine in what world like the U.S. was just like, all right, so all right, we're good again. Don't worry about it. You can just say you didn't do it.
He's our ally. Look, if you buy in your oil from somebody, they can go ahead and murder journalists, because what are you going to do? They're going to jack the price of oil up. That people in America care more about the price of oil than they do about the reporter. They don't even know his name.
Well, that's the messed up part. And if you look at no more than a few months ago, and you look at Putin, and I forget the individual who passed away in the Russian prison.
Navalny or something like that.
Yes, and the U.S. came out and criticized Putin. How dare you do this to somebody? This is
classic Putin. Classic Putin.
Classic Putin move. Classic U.S. administration response to a classic Putin move, right? And all they did was blast Putin. But meanwhile, the Saudi prince is just like sliding by and like, I didn't really do that. And they're like, don't worry about the Khashoggi thing, man. We're good again.
I mean,
don't sweat it.
It's pretty much 100% that he did it. I mean, there's audio, there's tapes and everything. I mean, didn't they like saw him up or something?
Yeah, so
sawed him up into little pieces.
It's again, I don't remember the whole story. I did watch the documentary on it. It was really good. But if I remember right, it happened in Turkey, at the consulate.
Yeah,
and like nobody was even supposed to know, obviously, except for there was a drone overhead of the consulate that was more or less spying on the consulate. And this drone was catching the audio of this whole thing happening. But it's a spy drone, so like, what do you do with that information, right? You're not supposed to be there in the first place. So now they have to like come out and lie and say, oh, well, there was an Apple Watch and they caught a signal, they went with some other story with it. But dude, they had flown in a hit team. They pumped him full of needles, I think, to coagulate the blood, and then dismembered him.
Yeah.
And then took him out back in garbage bags and went and burnt his body. And meanwhile, his fiance's in the car out front waiting for him. Because she just think he's going in there to get his passport or whatever stamped so he can go get married to her. Like he thought he was going to be in and out. She was like, all right, see you in a few minutes. Okay, sweetheart. And that's what ended up happening. Like, how crazy is that?
I mean, how long did she wait in the car?
A couple hours, I think, before she's like, hey, wait a second.
Did she? I mean, she's lucky she didn't go in. I think that wouldn't that be the kind of, or maybe they wouldn't do it to her because that's too bad a publicity.
I don't know.
They're okay with killing the reporter, but him and his wife, that's
That whole thing, and I apologize if I'm getting some of the story incorrect on it, but I would suggest anybody
I think it's
read
pretty,
up
I
on
think
it.
it's pretty close.
It's pretty nuts.
They're like, step right in, and then they immediately killed him.
Dude. Yeah, oh yeah, come on back, Mr. Khashoggi. Yeah, don't worry about it. But
Give you VIP treatment
Now-
right this way.
and it sounds even more terrible because whenever I have to like break down boxes that we get deliveries from Amazon and all this stuff, I'm always like, all right, if you need me, I'll be in the garage. I got to go Khashoggi some boxes. Like that's just what I call breaking down boxes now.
Yeah.
It's just me Khashoggiing stuff, which is a terrible thing to say.
And we're fine with it. We're fine with it.
Fine with
We're
it.
fine with it.
Biden's no big deal. The administration's cool.
But I mean, there's governments do worse stuff than this, all the time. It's just the way it is. And if they want you to be, if they want to demonize you, I'm sure other countries, look at our government and just talk about what we've done all over the world and demonize us.
Oh
right?
man, yeah,
I mean,
just
we're just
atrocity after atrocity.
we're the chief atrocity maker. We probably killed more people than anybody in the last 20 or 30 years.
It sounds weird because you don't want to sound anti-American. It's like, I love my country, but have we been the instigator of some serious atrocities? Yep.
It's not the country though. It's the government. The people who are in charge are so corrupt and greedy and evil. They're giving us guys a bad name. I'm not looking to go in the Middle East and do any of that shit.
It's true, yeah.
I'm not looking to do none of it.
I just want to be a good red-blooded American who minds his own business.
Yep. Lynn Carr just subscribed. How long is
Lynn
that?
Carr.
Lynn Carr. 57 months. Holy moly. That's a long time. Dark Passenger, 28 months. Thank you very much, Dark Passenger. Appreciate it.
Dark Passenger. I met, I didn't meet, one of the Ned's Navy.
Ned's Navy.
I traded some Facebook messages with him.
Didn't even know you went on the Facebook.
I did. I'm not great at it, but he caught me in a moment of weakness, or maybe I just happened to be looking at it. I don't even know what it was, but it was nice. He reached out. He's like, "Hey, man, appreciate what you guys are doing." I was like, that's awesome. Thanks for listening." Ned's Navy seemed like a nice guy.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. We got a lot. We've got a lot of. It's like you ever remember some of the old meet and greets? Not the meet and greets, but especially the local ones, and you're being like, here come the mutants. Here come the mutants.
I do remember that being a statement. Yeah, here come the mutants.
And our meet and greets are just like a bunch of normal people.
Here come the nice people.
Here comes these nice, and there's never ever been a problem. And it's like I'm sure this was like a thorn in his side when I do the cluster F meet and greets. And he'd be like, "So you want me to talk about the cluster F meet and greet?" And I had to go, "No."
We good.
I was like, I just want cluster. Oh, it was probably a really bad thing to do, but it would ruin my meet and greet. I was like, we just want cluster efforts. We have a little. The tier is a little. It's like this is the. And then we're trying to be up here. He probably hated me for that.
Tier 1 listeners versus tier 4.
Yeah, the toothless mutants.
It's always great when you'd see some of those listeners walk up and you go, "Oh, I know exactly what's going to happen."
Yep.
When I go to shake this, I know exactly how this is going to go down. They're going to smile. They're going to have about one tooth. Mm-hmm. They're going to make some comment that they think is hilarious.
Yep.
And then I'm going to have to fake giggle at it. And then I'm going to have to listen to a story from something they did 20 years ago, and then they're going to introduce me to their wife or their
kinfolk.
Yeah, kinfolk. And then have them turn around and go, "Check out that ass. Don't you like that ass? Isn't that a great ass?" And at this point, I got to get out of this conversation.
Classy bunch.
Yeah.
I don't miss that.
No.
See, like the meet and greets were a little more like when we did the Bubba-paloozas.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if you charge money, then you weed out some of the.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, you're trimming the fat off of
some of
that.
the undesirables.
the deplorables.
The deplorables.
Who said that? Hillary Clinton?
Yeah, deplorables.
Which is a great Funny word.
It stuck. It stuck.
I mean, I'm remembering it.
I remember. I think about it all the time.
Dude,
it's a good one.
guess who I had? Yeah, well, you would never guess it, so I'll just tell you. So last week when I was sick, a couple of days later, we ended up going to dinner with a couple people that we know. Lana, who you know from from the radio station, yep, and my buddy Artie and his girlfriend Carrie, and Artie does. For a living, he hosts TV shows, infomercials, voiceover work, all that kind of stuff, right? And his girlfriend does too. Like, that's what she also does. And turns out she's the banker on Deal or No Deal.
Like before or now?
Like,
is there a new one?
Currently, she's the banker, like the CNBC version.
Get it right. Deal or No Deal Island? Are you talking about that one?
I don't know. All I know is she
the
goes.
New one.
And I didn't even think about it literally until after we had left meeting up with them and stuff like that. Because again, she does, TV work and all that stuff. So she's in a bunch of stuff. But she just briefly made mention how she's the banker on Deal or No Deal.
Banker.
And I'm going, and it kind of slipped past me until later on. I'm going, did she say she was the banker on? That's a thing. That's a.
Have you seen Deal or No Deal ever?
Oh yeah, ton of times.
So you know what the banker is.
Yes. And she is, in fact, the banker on Deal or No Deal.
So it's is her silhouette?
Yes.
And her voice over the phone, right?
I guess.
Or did the banker would he have any lines at all? Or was he just on the phone and how he's going, and he goes, the banker says, and how it went? I don't remember.
I think in the reboot, the banker might have a little more interaction. I don't exactly know. But how weird is it that of all the people that you'd meet or have an interaction with, it's the banker from Deal or No Deal.
Deal or No Deal.
I don't know why I find that so odd. It's just like the stuff, the work people get is amazing to me.
I'm always fascinated by what people do.
Right? All these game shows. Yeah.
There's so many houses being sold around here, and they're all look to be in the $350,000 to $800,000 range. And I'm like, how so many people? So, I mean, I get plenty of rich people, but how can so many people now afford a $600,000 house? Like hundreds upon hundreds. I just don't even understand. Is that a thing? How much are you making? How much is everybody in this whole neighborhood making? Everybody's making deep into the six digits. What are they doing? Where are those jobs?
Dude, you're right, and I never really even looked at it this way until a few years ago. Where back in the day, you'd have a couple buddies that were married or whatever, or you'd see some older people that you knew that were married but miserable in it, and they would go, "It's like, why don't you guys just get a divorce?" And they go, "Oh, it's cheaper to keep her." And I never really. I was like, oh, that's kind of what a weird trite statement to make, right? Like about your spouse. Fast forward, now I'm going, in order to afford one of these houses, you have to you have to have multiple sources of income. Like, it can't just be the husband lives there alone or the wife lives there alone. Like, you have to be a couple that both have jobs and both have careers and make pretty good money in order to afford one of these new builds or one of these 600, 7,000.
I mean, if you divorced your husband and you took the house, you're just getting a big debt, right? I mean, unless he's super rich. If he's just a well-off guy, he's not going to be paying the alimony. Might not pay the mortgage.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. I guess I haven't thought about it that deep. I'm just looking at it from just a perspective of being able to afford a house. Like, you have to have multiple incomes. Like back in the day, it was like this pride thing of like the man goes to work, the wife stays home and raises the kids. Good luck now. You better take your ass to work. Let's both get jobs because we're both going to need jobs in order to afford the house and the kids. Like, God bless the guy in the past who had that male machismo or chivalry of going, I'll work, you stay here. Not me. Like, you better get a job too.
Well, that was actually, it was a better society because a guy, just like like my dad, he was a high school principal. He wasn't, making a ton of money. He just middle class guy.
Highly respected job, though.
Yes, and he was able to own a house, 2 cars, raise 5 freaking kids.
And your mom was not working?
Occasionally, she would do like a substitute teacher deal for extra money, but
see, you couldn't.
But you can't do that now. Because they made it. The cult of consumerism that they foisted upon us. You can't. Nobody would even think of like downsizing or living, not in everybody's. It's like keeping up with the Joneses times 10.
Yeah.
Do you know that saying? Is that saying?
Sure.
Okay. It's like everybody does. It used to just be a few people would want to keep up. Now we're obsessed. We got to have the go-karts and the golf carts. And everybody's got to have every toy imaginable.
Which, guilty of to a certain extent. Like, you want to have nice things. I don't think I need that nice of things personally. I just want a couple nice things. Like, not everything. Some people are like, oh, I've got the finest of, not watches, timepieces or all this kind of stuff. I'm not, I'm not that way. But, you want to have a nice house in a decent neighborhood, and you don't want to raise your kids.
No, but what I'm saying, like my dad had a nice house in a decent neighborhood.
Yeah, he could do it.
And we went on vacation once a year for a week, and that's all. I had a great childhood. I never wanted for anything. I had toys. I don't know. I think that was a better thing to do than everybody being, oh, I need nicer things. You thought I had everything I wanted, and I didn't have any of that shit.
Yeah, because think about it. In modern day, if you're that same thing that you're talking about, where you and how many siblings? 5 kids total?
5 total. Yeah.
Okay, 5 total kids, 2 cars, a nice house, right? Mm-hmm. Bro, that would cost you... $800 for the house.
Yeah.
Okay. Plus each kid's going to cost you, let's call it 20 a year. Right. So that puts you at 920 plus your cars. I mean, dude, your monthly nut is crazy.
Yeah. So they changed it. So that's the reality. The reality was they changed people, and they changed it so women had to work, and that's slowly the destruction of the nuclear family, and that's where we are today.
I do get a kick out of the guys who don't have a job, but the wife does, and the guy gets to stay home. Doesn't seem like it happens too often, but it always is funny to see. Don't raise your hand, Mike. We're working right now.
I'm just kidding. I've worked very hard at this job. I mean, seriously, I work.
I agree. But I mean, isn't it such a departure? And I don't,
I couldn't do it.
Like a guy used to get clowned for that. Now I don't think a guy would get clowned. I don't know. Seems different.
I think it's different now. I think, I'm a house husband, everybody's, oh, that's Phil. Good.
Yeah, if you were a house husband 20 years ago, you're like the only thing you could equate it to 30 years ago would be that movie Mr. Mom. Like that was the only equivalent that you had to go.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what the guy's staying home and he's gonna fumble around like an idiot, and not know what he's doing, and and his wife's gonna. That was the only reference point of a guy staying at home.
So viewed on as so preposterous that they made a movie about it.
Oh yeah,
the guy's gonna stay home with the kids.
We'll call him Mr. Mom.
It's a pretty good movie.
It was a pretty good movie.
I like Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Kevin JK 5 G's busting out the 5 G's. Woo! The big baller on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin JK.
Hype train. Oh, my $2. Subscribe for 56. That's deep as hell. Woo! Deep as hell. Appreciate it. Kevin JK. Oh, AJ the Linger gifted 10 tier 1 subs.
Is that good?
That's good. That's 630. He's given 630 subs.
How do you give subs?
I don't know.
Okay.
If you know how to cheer the bits, then that's the same. It's in a similar way. you do whatever you do, and you pick gift sub or cheer bits.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Well, good deal.
Level 4. How do you, man, we're already in a level 4 hype train.
A hype train? Get it.
Level 4 hype train, 87%.
Hey, that's cool. Where's your song? You got to play the song.
Can you give me a different...
That's cool.
Now I can play the song.
You're cool. There it is. Now, Mike, I know you're sick, but you got to get into tip-top DJ
hype train mode. I don't. We've had a hype train, haven't we, before once?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a hype train.
All right, do it as Pharrell. Then you can.
Oh my God, I've done it like that. You can do it.
You can do it for a little while. It's a hype train. I should probably do all my hype trains level 4. Shake it up on a Wednesday night. It's Mike and Matt the Hang. We're hanging like my ball sack. Hanging long and strong, you motherfuckers. 89%. Bubba's Rattler, 100 bits. We appreciate the Sally Struthers. Buck a pop.
Doing the beat.
That give me a headache. That's aggravating my diverticuli.
I figured it might. Yeah.
That's when I knew I had it. It was Friday during the Ned singing, and I was like, "Oh, this singing is busting my gut."
Oh, the pain.
I was like, I had to cut it short. I never miss a day ever.
Where are we at on the hype train now?
Oh, I forgot about the hype train.
Keep going with the hype.
89%, 4 minutes left. Level 4 hype train on a Wednesday night.
All right. So instead of hyping it because you're not feeling well.
No, I can hype it. I can hype it with the best.
No, okay.
Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say we'll just play the song and just stare.
And just stare with
Just
their
stare at
mouths
each other
open.
lovingly.
Their mouths open.
Shut the fuck up, okay?
What does it say? Gang of money? Opito?
I don't know.
Opito?
Opito.
I don't know what these people. I don't know what these people are talking about nowadays in their music.
Hey, get off my lawn.
Sexy Red. All this trash rap. And we got the white trash rap. The whole genre of yahoos.
Don't make me get started. Don't fire me up on Diddy.
Oh, Diddy.
News from the hood. Don't get me started.
Diddy's been doing it a long time. And everybody, it's like Epstein. Everybody knows about it. And then finally, the Fed. See, he's an Epstein guy. He worked with powerful people, and they were like, "It's time for Diddy to go. He's getting too big for his britches."
There's a lot of things there. A lot of things. Oh, is it done? What's the hype train now?
Level 5.
Level
hype
5.
train. Who gave us? We got Bubba's Rattler. No, Beaver Smell Like Tuna. 400 bits.
Thank you, Beaver Smell Like Tuna.
Thank you, Beaver Smell. I met at the meet and greet one time, and he was like, "Yeah, you know, I don't like mine. I think I'm going to change." I was like, "Nah, your beaver smell like tuna, man. Once you lock it in,
You gotta let it stick.
you got to lock it in. You'll be forever. Beaver smells like tuna." And then you don't even think. After a while, you know, I say it every day, and I don't, you know. I don't think I'm not like, "Oh, beaver smells like tuna." What kind of name? You know, it's just his name. I always say, like, you know, they try to change the names of all these things, you know, that are offensive, and I'm like, it ain't a big deal. You could have Hitler High School, and after about 2 years, people go, "You can take a left after Hitler High School," and they're not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's a big waste of fucking time.
Yeah. Right off of Hitler High.
Maybe that's. I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah, no.
I like to think of the mascots. And
Oh man, yeah.
we're going to move on to Vampire Jeremy. 100 bits. Bubba's Rattler, 100 bits.
Fuck that shit. Hats, blue ribbons.
Oh, crank it up.
Did you ever see Blue Velvet?
No.
Who's that? With Dennis, that was Dennis Hopper. No, it's the most ridiculously weird movie ever.
No, I've never heard of. I never even heard of Blue Velvet.
Bizarre. It was bizarre, but he was great. He was like he was always like huffing something, and he was just maniacal. It made the movie worthwhile. The movie was terrible. Bubba's Rattler, 100 bits. The movie was terrible, but he was great in it though.
Dennis Hopper's a hell of an actor.
Somebody said that we should be calling this show The Hang with Manson and Spice.
Yeah.
We're missing out on the name value.
Yeah.
And like,
I don't care. It sounds weird to say. I feel okay. My honest opinion on that is Mike and Matt. Like I'm not putting on a different kind of character.
Yeah.
I'm kind of just talking as me now, right? It's not.
Yeah.
So I feel like before it was a little. I had to be somebody I wasn't at a lot of points in time, and that wasn't fun for me.
Yeah. Well, see, I never had to do certain things, but for the last like year and a half, 2 years of my career, I was a yes man, Brent Hatley style.
Oof.
I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it. It was just all day long. And that, I mean, he must have said like 100 times a show. Isn't that right, Manson? Yep. And I had to find different ways to go.
Indubitably.
Certainly. Yeah. It's like, oh, it's brutal. Bubba's Rattler, 100 bits. 7%. Level 5 hype train.
Wow. How many levels does it go?
Oh,
It just
I
keeps
think
going.
we've gotten to 12.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Before. I guess it would keep on going forever. So I don't know.
Forever.
Forever. So we've been to level 12 before. This is really awesome.
Do you think? Yeah, never mind. I'm not going to say that. Yeah,
That's good. That's fine. Don't.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that.
That's why I've learned. Sometimes it's best to not say things, and especially don't tweet them. I'm really trying to get out of that.
I'm glad you're getting out of that.
It's just it's worthless.
No, man, spectator sport.
You're not gonna teach anybody anything. You're not gonna show anybody up. They'll never ever. You're never gonna best somebody, even though you best them. You didn't best them because in their mind you didn't best them.
I'm loving watching these people spar though. These classic journalists who traditionally would use their poison pen, but now they're just jawing back and forth for like 140 characters. It's the strangest thing in the world to me.
It's a different world. Bubba's Rattler, 100 bits. Yeah, now they snipe at each other on social media. It's like that's real journalism there.
Yeah, it's really strange. Like the Candace Owens Ben Shapiro beef that was going on. Like that was, I don't know, all kinds of stuff like that.
I'm liking Ben Shapiro less and less.
Why is that?
I just think he has a lot of stupid opinions.
He's dug in though,
Oh, he's dug in, and
he's a great debater.
Yeah.
So if you were to if you watch him as opposed to reading his tweets, right? Reading the tweets, you can only get so much out of that. But if you actually watch him debate on a topic, he'll turn you. You go, oh, that's a good point, Ben. Oh, Ben, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, I check out the clips of him. I used to kind of like him, but I don't know. I don't know. I just think I think he's autistic.
There's nothing wrong with that, Mike.
I think he thinks like in too logical a way almost.
Yeah, there's no nuance.
Yeah,
it's there's no gray. It's either black or white.
That's how. Yeah, I like Candace Owens. So
she's a trip to listen to.
I can't figure her out. She just not give a fuck.
I'm confused too because I don't know if the African American community embraces her
I don't
or
think they
not.
do. I don't think they do.
Yeah, it's like rarely will you see them come out in defense of her, but for some reason I feel like a lot of them agree with her, but they can't be like, yeah, Candace, I'll co-sign that opinion. Like nobody wants to co-sign her opinion, but
the position of a right-wing black journalist or something like that is highly valued if you're good by the right.
Yeah,
they love that, but then your own people turn against you because they view you as a sellout. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, they're also.
But I think more and more now are not thinking that way because more and more people are getting affected by the government, and they're kind of changing their minds now.
Yeah, I mean, it is funny to see the interviews with some African American folks who are on Trump's side now, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I like Donald Trump." That's a terrible impression, I know, but it is interesting to watch because I'm talking like years back. It was like if you would have entertained that thought or been a Candace Owens, like the classic argument would have been like, oh, you'd be called a Uncle Tom or something like that, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Some smear on your character for not really a good reason. And now it's like, okay, at least you're allowed to have an opinion. Like, they don't get that. I guess the African American community, I don't think they get that bent out of shape about it as they used to.
It's so racist to think that black people couldn't be Republicans. It's like,
Isn't that weird?
Simply how you like they can't think for themselves. Like how you, it's
Dude, I'm loving all this. What a week
Yeah.
between the bridge collapse and everybody thinking that's a conspiracy, and I'm like going, not everything can be a conspiracy. Sometimes shit just happens.
Shit just happens.
Like nobody wants to take a stance of like shit happens anymore. Everything is now a conspiracy, which you're giving the good conspiracy a bad name by doing that. But I also, at the same time, I like the critical thinking of people going, something's off here. But now they're doing it too much.
Because everything. There's not one thing that's going to come out at all that's not going to be a conspiracy theory.
Yes.
And it's like if you've seen the video, okay, so the ship's, it's losing power.
Yeah.
And they're saying this, the ship was hacked by, it's a terrorist attack and a cyber attack, and or maybe the ship lost power, and they said they dropped the anchors, and that kind of swung it right into that. It was an emergency.
And they tried to back it up, but that was too late. Can't throw that thing in reverse real quick.
That thing's just, the size of that ship is just astronomical.
Was there ever a conspiracy on? Okay, so you remember the little submarine, the tiny submarine that
the Titans.
Yes, that they controlled with a PlayStation remote to go to the Titanic. Yeah,
yep.
That one.
Yep.
Was there ever a conspiracy on that one? Because that's one of the last things I've seen that I don't recall people going, "Oh, there's a conspiracy here." But if somebody important would have been inside that,
it would have been a
conspiracy.
Huge conspiracy.
Isn't it weird how that works? Instead, it was just like, oh man, what a bunch of dumbasses trying to go to the Titanic with a PS5 remote.
I think that I'm sure people were racking their brains trying to come up, but they couldn't. We can't come up with nothing.
But if Bezos would have been on board that Titan sub, or somebody. Political figure, whoever, it would have immediately been like, oh. See what they did? They trapped him in a submarine.
Knew it.
Purposely imploded it.
It would definitely be that way.
It all cracks me up. The Diddy thing I'm loving, though, because, there's so much to be said about it. One of the more interesting arguments I saw at the beginning was they didn't raid his house to find evidence. They raided his house to plant evidence. And I was like, oh, shit, that's an interesting perspective. I think that was Candace Owens that said that. And I'm going, okay, I can see that. Now, somebody who's had interaction with the old feds, I can tell you, it ain't all on the up and up, right?
Of course it isn't.
So when I see that statement, I go, oh, I could see how that could happen. Like, that's not too far off. And then the other argument is like, oh, well, he was an informant, so now it's time to kind of cash in their chips, kind of thing. And then the most plausible explanation is, hey, he might just be a shitbag.
He's a he's a sexual human trafficker.
and now there's audio that's been leaked today. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but you can find it online. I was going to send it to you, but I don't even think it has a place on this.
Yeah.
You could probably play it tomorrow on your show. But it's allegedly audio of Diddy and Meek Mill having sex.
Oh. I think I've been hearing that one rumor for a while.
It's been rumored for a while, but then today there's audio of it. And you just hear like, take that. The guy's like, And again, I don't know. It could just be audio from any other video out
this
there.
Day and age.
Yeah, there's no.
But you want it to be true.
It would be hilarious.
You want it to be true.
It would be hilarious.
So, R. Kelly. There's certain guys. You get rich and famous, and you happen to be, really weird and really crazy and evil.
The R. Kelly thing I always found fascinating because I'm just thinking to myself, like, where does he have the time for all this? I would think that you're pretty busy doing tours and, press and record, like just life, right? Just life being a celebrity in that
Yeah.
in that place, I'd feel like you're pretty busy. And R. Kelly was like, he had plenty of time on his hands to just manipulate situations. It seemed odd to me.
I mean, do you see that? You remember when he was in Africa singing, get your shots, get your passports, and come home with me? He just take women home with him.
Well,
And you fly home from Africa.
I think
What are you going to do when you're trapped in R. Kelly's house?
trapped in a closet. At this point, I think as a society, we need to take a closer look at people who, like Diddy's a perfect example, where now everybody's digging up all the footage of him, hanging out with Bieber and going, oh man, look at Bieber's face. He looks terrified. And, Usher in his comments, everything surrounding the whole Diddy world for the last 20 years is now getting drug up. And everybody's going, oh, we saw this coming, or we should have seen this coming. I think we need to do a better job of seeing it coming and actually saying something about it and going, hey, there's a problem here, because I'm sure there's other celebrities and other people maybe in your personal life that you go, hey, my uncle is a little strange. My uncle does this. And then, their family members, oh, that's just Uncle John being Uncle John. But it's like, what if Uncle John's not just being Uncle? What if he's fucking sick? And
nobody's going to say it, though.
yeah, how
Nobody's
long
gonna
are we
say
going to wait until we figure out that he's a sicko? Is it until it's too late, until there's 9,000 victims?
And I don't know. How does somebody like that get away with it? Because R. Kelly got away with it, and there was rumors about all R. Kelly I mean,
there was video of him with an underage girl, him urinating. It was
wasn't his twin brother? Was his twin brother? Wasn't it?
Is that the argument he used?
Didn't he? Does he even have a twin brother?
I think there was some sort
Did
of
his
argument.
twin brother go to jail? I mean, I don't understand the whole thing. It was something like that.
Imagine having to take the hit for that one.
I ain't
Hey,
taking
look,
the hit.
twin brother.
I ain't taking the
I need you to do me a favor.
Dude, 25 to life.
I need you to say it was you.
So he got away with it, and did he get away with it because he's an Epstein kind of guy and he's got dirt on a ton of people?
I don't know. I mean, again, now there's all this old footage coming up about him having these parties, and he would have these rooms video cameraed up, secret video cameras to try to catch
Camera in
celebrities.
every room. They said.
That sounds like the move of a real sicko. Only fucking a weirdo would do something like that.
Look at all the money he made. Some people make out of it.
Yeah. Seems very familiar. I don't know. You're in pain, I can tell.
No, I'm not. I'm actually not in pain.
You're not?
I'm not.
All right. I feel like I saw your hand. I'm like, are you holding your
I
side?
was maybe that was a subconscious kind of deal.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But so Diddy, I mean, was he just grooming and raping young
Jesus.
young talent? Is that what he was doing?
I don't know, because then there's this other video where he took in this teenage girl, and he's like, "You with me now?" And it's like, what? Like, there's just all these little things, and
He was taking guardianship.
And
he's
is
a good guy.
Well, and I think it can be true that you can be if your kids come out, if Diddy's kids were to come out and be like, hey, don't say that about my dad. My dad was a great father.
Yeah.
Like, it is possible to be both.
To be a great father and a psychopath?
Yes. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. Is it?
It is possible.
I don't think it is.
Now, if I were his kids, I wouldn't say shit to anybody about nothing. I just keep my
Keep
head down and
cash.
keep it stepping. But I think it is possible in life for people to be both. Like, there's serial killers in the past that have been like great people, and then
name one serial killer that was a great person.
Well, I mean a great person in terms of like nobody saw it coming. Like, there have been instances. I don't want to say great people. I mean, like, oh, we thought everything was normal.
Yeah.
And then the truth comes
facade,
out.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, it is possible to have the facade of being a normal
and being
dude.
Yeah.
And then having all this stuff happening.
I don't think he was a good dad. He probably paid for a lot of stuff, though. Yeah.
Oh.
That's a lot of stuff for his kids.
If Diddy was my daddy, you kidding me? If Diddy was my daddy, I would Yeah, I would just keep asking for stuff.
Do you think like okay, say Justin Bieber, you know, like look how he looked terrified. Do you think, you know, if something happened with him and Bieber and some of the other young like Usher or the one Meek Mill, you know, you think they're just not going to come out with it because they don't want it to come out? I mean, Justin Bieber's a billionaire. You think, hey, by the way, did he, you know, bang me in the rear? I think you want to do that.
I think at this point in time, if something like that did happen, now's the time to come out and say it. Now's the time, right?
Or not. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's like
That's a tough secret to just hold on to. If Diddy's going through all this and they're looking for people who Diddy did wrong, and you're one of the people Diddy did wrong, and you don't come out and be like, hey, Diddy did me wrong.
because he's still doing it, and he, you know, you could be, you know, you're helping him do it by not saying anything. So
Well, and then now the new one is like, oh, well, he's in this pedophile sex ring with the likes of Jay-Z. And now Jay-Z's getting wrapped up in it because he's got a private island. And they think just because Jay-Z's got a private island, he's got to have all this stuff going on an island. And I don't know what to believe. But, like, what if you're Jay-Z and what if you just, you know, you bought a private island because you could, and you're going, man, I can't believe I grew up broke and in the hood, and now look at me. I'm successful. I'm so successful, I can buy myself a private island. And you do. And then people go, oh, yeah? Well, your private island's only used for better. Meanwhile, maybe he's just chilling there on the beach in a private island. Like, who's to say he's got bad stuff going on?
He's part of the Illuminati. Because he's not, you know, he's certainly not, you know,
I'm very
one
confused.
of the greatest rappers.
He's pretty good.
I can't even tolerate him. He always acts like he's out of breath. Man, he's struggling. He's just struggling to.
Go back and listen to the Blueprint. Tell me, come on, I
don't care for him at all. Never cared for. He's like one of my least favorite rappers.
See, I grew up to that, so to me it resonates. To me, I'm going, oh, Jay-Z was great. Like that was awesome. Hell, even Diddy, not Diddy's music, but the stuff, Notorious B.I.G. and all that, you know.
Yeah, but like Diddy, like was it like his
Diddy's stuff is.
I'll Be Missing You is like his biggest hit.
Yeah,
it was like he took a Sting record and then sang the same tune,
switched it up.
Wasn't like a sample. He just redid the song, and he knew it'd be a smash because everybody cared about Biggie.
Yep,
brilliant marketing, brilliant marketer.
I don't know.
He's got away with it for a long time. He's doing something. He's doing something.
If Diddy did it, man.
Diddy did it.
Diddy's got problems.
He's gonna come out like OJ with a book. If Diddy did it.
Oh man.
That's
if Diddy did it, here's how Diddy would do it.
Yep. Diddy done did it. It's a smash. And people are he'll make $100 million off that book. See, I didn't even know who P. Diddy was. Probably when he was famous, you know. I wasn't into.
Oh man,
producers of hip. I don't know.
I just do because it was my era. But I mean, you know, I remember going back to like all of a sudden Diddy was running the city, and that was a big campaign. It was like Diddy was training for a marathon. It was like, oh, Diddy runs the city, like all this stuff. And then, you know, even as of I think September 2023, if my dates are not incorrect, like he was given the key to the city for New York, and he's got video of him with a giant key to the city, and a car just cruising up and down in downtown in New York City, and you go, yeah, I'm the man, and all this stuff. And I'm going,
it's all a facade.
Dude, pride comes before the fall every time.
See, he got too big for his britches, and the powers that be said we got to take him down before he spills beans.
You think that's what it is?
I don't. It could be. I have no idea.
Like, what's your most plausible theory between all this stuff of him being an informant, him being a scumbag, him, like whatever it is, right? What's the one that you would come back to naturally?
I mean, when you put it that way, I think him just being a scumbag. And if you're rich, I mean, he's rich as hell.
Well, let me ask you this.
And powerful as hell in his industry.
Do you think he is the kind of guy to record people unknowingly having sex and try to use it for blackmail or later on?
I think that too, though. Yeah, I don't know. It could all be true. He's a scumbag who tape people, and then they, you know, powers that be were like, we got to get this Diddy guy, man. He's gonna blow the lid off. I don't know, or it could all be a distraction.
Because think about it. Think about if you think about all the celebrities that hung out with Diddy.
Yep.
Whether it's momentarily meeting him, like I think Prince Harry's wrapped up in that, where he was at a
Yeah.
Diddy party, right? So like
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're now, oh well, Prince Harry's in on it. Well, it's like no, you're a celebrity. You're going to hang out in these celebrity circles and parties, and if you got 1,000 people at your party that are all celebrities, it doesn't mean all 1,000 are
Maybe some of
Yeah,
them haven't
terrible.
heard that Diddy was shady.
right.
You just know, you
You just
know
go to a
he's
party at
he's
Diddy's house.
Famous, that's all you know.
But then there's probably a few,
Oh, or like go there because he's shady.
right?
Yeah, that's you'll never know. And then they'll find Diddy. Hung himself, and it'll be Diddy didn't kill himself. Diddy did it. It's gonna be the new Jeffrey. It's gonna be the new Epstein didn't kill himself. And wasn't that the weirdest thing in the history of history? Is the killing of Jeffrey Epstein, they claimed it was suicide, but it was so obvious that he didn't kill himself that the entire world made a joke about it. But nothing. Everybody knows he didn't kill himself.
It's all
And-
so weird.
Nothing, but yeah, the government killed him. Yeah, it was our government killed you. Yeah, and that's you just accept that.
Well, and then one of the other Diddy theories. This is news from the hood. Your street report is that the one theory is okay. They raided him to plant evidence, right? The other theory would be they
that
raided
too.
him to get that evidence, and it will never see the light of day.
Or
You
both,
will
both. They
You'll
plant
never know the
evidence,
client list.
And you take that's why they ransacked his house too.
You got
But
the likes of probably a Bill Clinton or a Barack Obama. Who knows who, right? Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows what Diddy got?
Because they sent a lot. It's like they sent in like 50 armored vehicles and troops and everything. It's like, well, what's if it's just a plain old human trafficking, why aren't you doing that for every human trafficker? Because they had to go in there and
Make a statement.
steal everything and steal the evidence and plant the evidence. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what's true at all about nothing no more.
I think it's fascinating because if they're doing that to Diddy, or if Diddy did it, right? Like either one, like that's man.
And and you could.
There's so many different angles on it.
And you could take the video of Justin Bieber and Diddy, and if you'd have watched it before without that being put in your mind, you just to watch it. Diddy's, and Bieber's going to be a new star,
Right. Look at this 14-year-old kid. Oh, that's cool. He's the next up and comer. All right. Yeah.
But then when you know it, you're like, he's terrified.
Yeah,
He
you look
knows
at it differently.
He knows what's going to happen to him, Michael Jackson style.
Oh.
I don't know. I can't tell the truth anymore.
I mean,
don't know
even
what the truth is.
Even
at all.
Michael Jackson, did they ever actually figure out the truth behind the Michael Jackson stuff, or was all that settlements?
Now, did you watch the AC Bubba Palooza? Just subscribed for 38 months. Thank you, AC Bubba Palooza. Did you watch the documentary? Because I did not. Like the one where they said he's like, like to look at little boys' beeholes.
Yeah, I watched the one coming from. It was a couple of the alleged victims.
So did it convince you, or did you think, well, this is just a slanted documentary by the victims,
Bro, when you
alleged victims?
that's the thing is it's so difficult. But when you hear these now grown men talking about their experience of what they went through, you can't help but to go, oh yeah, he definitely did it. Like Michael Jackson, whoa, like that's
Because
you
they
hear
were
them
so believable.
Yes.
And maybe the things they were saying, it's like you wouldn't even think to say that Michael Jackson would.
It was a lot of
to
detail.
stare at your beehole.
Yeah.
That's not normal. He touched me. He did this. He liked to stare at my beehole. Oh, fresh young beehole.
Yeah.
So it's so weird. It almost makes it true.
Yeah. So the Diddy thing, if there was the likes of a Bieber
Yeah.
that came out and actually said, hey, this was my experience, whether it's good or bad, it would be interesting. Like if Bieber came out and said, hey, look, yeah, Diddy, look.
You'd think he would come out and say, "Hey, man, it was, Diddy. He had showed me the movie theater at his house, and then we popped popcorn, and then we made some music until like 2 a.m. It was the greatest day of my life."
Right.
Or
the opposite. But To say nothing, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like you almost got to do something.
Or you
just shut up because you don't want to get killed.
Or maybe, if something, I don't know. If something like that happened to you when you were young, maybe just like, man, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, it'd be traumatic to try to bring it back up.
Maybe. Man, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing no more. I know we've been talking too long.
Okay.
And we can take a little break.
Let's do it.
See, I think a dog log wanted to hear Pharrell interviews Jesus. Let me see if I can find that real quick. My vast list of parodies. We need to get that chord and check out that thing you gave me.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You just missed a chord. We haven't got it. It's got diverticulitis. We got putting down animals. It's a disaster.
You got a lot going on.
We got a lot going on, and we'll be right back with more of The Hang. Thanks for tuning in.
It's Pharrell on Howard 101.
What's up? It's Pharrell. Shake it out. We got a great show coming up on Howard 101. It's gonna get fucking crazy. Gonna talk baseball, football, pour me a shot, fire up the keg, give me a bong hit. Who's in the doghouse? You're a dick. That call fucking sucked. Check it out. Unbelievable. We got live in the studio the only Savior, the Messiah, the Holy Spirit, the only begotten Son. We got Jesus Christ live in the studio with Pharrell tonight. JC, how's it going?
Hey, I'm a really big fan. It's good to be here. Shake it up.
Shake it up. Unbelievable. Jesus Christ live in the studio. And if JC is back here on Earth, he wants to talk to Scotty Pharrell, and something serious is going on. And everyone's going to want to hear what Jesus Christ has to say. Shake it up.
Well, actually, Scotty, the reason I came back to Earth is...
God, I love this fucking song. His name is Jesus Christ. Came back not once but twice. Holes in his hands healed up pretty fucking nice. He's hanging with Pharrell. We're gonna scream and yell. Rapture's coming, I'm going straight to hell. Shake it up, partying with Jesus Christ. Howard 101, can you fucking believe it? Jesus Christ, the dude who was up on the cross. 9-inch nails, thorny crown, spear in the side. Oh Lord, why hast thou forsaken me? Hey Moses, I can see your house from up here. You were hanging on the cross. Shake it up. Jesus said had to hurt when you're hanging up there, nailed to the cross. Tell me about it.
Well, Scott, it was excruciating. But, my sacrifice led to...
Unbelievable. JC, if I were you, I would have said, come on, old man, give me some painkillers. How about a rainstorm of Vicodin or Oxycontin, even a couple perks, roofies, some eggs, a couple of bong hits, maybe a shot of Jaeger. Come on, give me something, old man. I'm hanging on the cross. I'm Jesus Christ. Jesus, you're the man. You're the man. You're the man. Shake it up.
Well, if I didn't endure the pain, then the crucifixion would have been...
Dodgers 5, Reds 2, Cards 4, Mets 3, Pujols hits 2 fucking dingers. Unbelievable. We're talking college baseball, college football, NFL, Australian rules, football, bocce ball, lawn darts, kick the can. Oh yeah, and we got the second coming, Jesus Christ in the studio.
It's great to be here, Scott. This is a real honor.
Jesus, what's up with that whole fucking resurrection thing? I mean, you hang out for 3 days, then you move the giant rock. The only rock I'm moving is a fucking crack rock. Jesus, shake it up. Here's another shot of Jaeger for the Savior. Come on, Jesus, tell me, was that rock heavy?
Actually, it wasn't that hard.
Come on, how'd you lift it, Jesus? Do you work out? How much do you bench? How much do you squat? What's your workout routine? Incline press, dumbbell flies, clean and jerk, crunches, donkey raises. Are you on the juice, Jesus? Is Jesus on the juice? Does there need to be an asterisk by the resurrection? Can't stop the fucking crucifixion. Jesus Christ got killed, but he ain't bitchin'. Too bad he was not an organ donor. Pharrell gets hoarse to sniff coke off his boner. Shake it up. That's all the time we have. Thanks for being on the air with me, JC. Any last words?
I just want everybody to love each other.
You're the man, Jesus Christ. Let's go get some big titted whores. See ya. Shake it up.
You're listening to The Hang with Mike Manson Waters and Matt Spice Floyd.
I said, pretty sure. Hype.
A ton of hype.
A lot of hype. That's what you got to do. That's what people want the hype. They want the hype. They need the hype. They do. Do you like that? You like that new song? You may not. You know, if you're not, if you don't listen to music anymore, new radio. Beautiful Things.
Who's it by?
Oh, what's his stupid name? He's got some stupid name. He was like an Idol guy. Benny Boner. I don't know what the hell.
Benny Boner.
I don't know what his name
That
is.
might be the funniest musician name of all time if he won American Idol with a name like Benny Boner.
Beautiful Things by Benson Boone. Benson Boone.
I like Benny Boner better.
Benson Boone's way worse. Benny Boner. I might go some places with her.
No, I don't think I've heard that. Or maybe I have.
It's like, this guy he's just wailing it, but it's like...
Is he a country guy or is it
no,
pop?
he's pop, but the grandkids, are always listening to it. It's like, no, then walk around the house singing. It's like, I hated that song until I had to listen to it 35 times.
Now you love it?
No, gets in my head. It's
Tolerate it?
It's in my head. Now all they want to do is listen to Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo.
I love putting songs in like my family's ear and just be like, hey, you want to get a song stuck in your head? And they're like, what do you got? And I'll just rattle off some, someone like
obscure, catchy song.
Yeah, like Private Eyes, they're watching you, And then all of a sudden, all day long, like, damn it, it's in there. And then, switch it off a little bit. You can throw in any of those old, 80s, 90s synth pop tunes.
Listening to... I don't know. We're out on the boat, on Trace's pontoon boat, and it was, I think it was "You Make My Dreams Come True." Well, you make my dreams. Listen to this, and it was like, man, this is a great song,
dude.
It's a great song.
They're suing each other, right? Hall and Oates.
Are they?
Yeah, there's some.
Didn't end well.
I think one's suing the other one to prevent him from even playing their songs at any of his shows. Like, that's how nasty it got. Move. But didn't one have the talent and one wrote, like one could sing and one wrote?
Daryl Hall was the singer,
Okay.
And he's a really good, I don't know what the writing process was. Whether the Oates, the guy with the big stash, had anything to do, or he was just played the bass or something. I don't know. It was Hall and Oates.
A big kerfuffle of apparently of lawsuit rigmarole between those two. I don't know. I mean,
I want to know.
At this point, they got to be 70 something. Like, this point, why even play shows? Like,
I mean,
stay home, relax. You're from Hall & Oates. You should be set. You should be fine. You shouldn't have to go out and worry about playing shows.
I see these, like advertisements for the new concerts coming up, and they're all ancient. It's Hart and what's the guy's name? Neil Young. It's like, how could that even be a good concert? The guy's got to be 77 years old or 80 years old.
Well,
Neil freaking Young.
Even if they're great concerts, like what motivates you at 80 to go on a tour around the country? Like, what's the motivation? Like, wouldn't you just try to like chill or something? I don't know.
I mean, I would like if I could draw 50,000 people, maybe late in my career I might do like 2 or 3 shows a year, because that's really cool to be in front of 50,000 people.
Yeah.
I think it's a drug. Like, like Donald Trump, you're like, you're 77. Why you're Joe Biden? You're 80 years old. Why do you want to be flying around the country every day in meetings and talking to people? But you're also like Trump when he walks into an arena. He's a god.
Yeah.
That's a powerful drug, man. It's a really powerful drug.
Dude, well, two things. One, on the way here, I was listening to the news, and Joe Lieberman just passed away.
Old Joe.
Old Joe Lieberman, who complications from a fall is what his family said. And I believe they said he was 82 years old.
Ooh.
And I'm going, all right. So he had complications from a fall.
Yeah.
At 82, and again, the candidates that we have in this game,
Pretty close to that.
pretty close.
Pretty close to that.
Give or take, right?
Both of them.
And then
Within
the
5
other,
years.
the other part I saw was Trump. They had a video of him, and they go, you ever seen those memes where somebody will say something, and then they put the glasses on the guy, and it had a little joint sticking out, and they
and
play
they
the
play
Dr. Dre beat in the
Yep,
back.
yep.
Yeah, they had Trump doing that because they go, and Mr. Trump, President Trump, how do you plan on getting your, paying for your bond or something like? And he turned around, and he goes, cash.
and then they do.
And then they do the glasses drop, which I thought was pretty funny. It's a lot of money to come up with.
It's like, the guy knows how to drop a good line.
Cash.
I don't understand. There's very few people who, like he's got the it factor. He was always on the talk shows, Letterman, Howard Stern. He had his own football league. He was a reality TV star, so he's got the it factor. But now he's one of the few people who can deliver a funny line, and even though you might not like him, you still don't laugh. Back in the day, you'd laugh. He's like, that guy's a dick, but that was a good line. People just hate him so irrationally now.
Yeah.
It's such a bizarre, irrational hate that they just loathe him. And every word that comes out of his mouth is like, I don't care whether you like him or not, but what? It's an irrational hate. There's a lot worse people in the world, and you hate him like you hate nobody else in the world.
That
it's
they're
weird.
Like, yeah, now they do that thing where it's like, what? He's a billionaire. How come he doesn't have that money to come up with his bond? Like, what's the big deal? It's like, do you not, like, he's not liquid. Like, nobody has that much liquid just floating around.
Liquid. 475 liquid.
Like, come on. Like, it doesn't work like that. Do people not understand how investments in property and assets and all of that?
There's not journalism
I understand
anymore.
a basic part of it, right? Even I know that Trump wouldn't be liquid for that amount of money. Like, it's a ridiculous thought to think he just, let me go in my piggy bank. Like, it doesn't work like that.
500 million. He's not Elon Musk. He doesn't have $200 billion.
And even Elon's not liquid for that.
Yeah. I mean, Trump might have $1 billion, Well, now that on paper he's got like $4 billion because of Truth Social. But that's on paper, and he can't sell the stock yet, or some kind of stuff like that.
I'm a millionaire in Radio IO stock, but I mean, what's that doing for us?
Bringing that back.
I'm sorry, but you know what I'm saying. Liquid.
What could have been?
It's like 3 cents.
Now think of you brought it up, buddy.
Oh no!
It's like just think of like the opportunity that was presented with a company that was on the stock market, and it was one of the first in. Before Pandora and all these things became popular. Yeah. And with the right management and promotion, it could have been huge, and that stock could have been worth. I mean, if that stock just went up to $5 a share, we're both balling.
Shoulda, woulda, couldn'ta. But yeah.
But it's like so outrageous that they just went for the short hustle. And, to just rip people off instead of, you've got all these people they believe in you so much. They dropped the tray. What was that, $300?
$300.
$300. You had a ton of people giving you $300, and you just shit all over.
Took the Capitol and ran.
What a bunch of bullshit. I mean, I don't even understand. I mean, the opportunity was there. Just like the opportunity was there with the 98.7. It's like, man, you make that thing a success. Work hard, and do well, maybe they might syndicate you in this day and age. They're not looking to pay talent. They want to pipe people in,
Or you cheat on the ratings.
or you cheat on the ratings and get kicked out of radio. And the thing is, if you just like listen to the things that I said throughout his career, we would be wealthy beyond our wildest dreams now, and successful beyond our wildest.
With the ratings stuff that happened, how much were you privy to? Like, I don't really think I've ever asked you that, because
I was privy to it.
but you were privy to it. Like, did you know? You didn't know what was going on
I just knew he was cheating on the ratings.
after.
No, he's like, come in the shed, and
Oh, so you actually saw the shed with all the stuff.
so he's got the vibrating trays, and the people meters are in the vibrating trays in the shed, and I'm like, oh my god. And then one day,
Who all knew?
I don't even know.
Like, who was on the show at the time?
So it'd be probably 25, me, and
Was Burke there?
I swear.
Sorry if I'm
something-
asking out of pocket
No, but
questions.
I swear I think I remember him showing Shannon. I'm not sure if he did, but he was just
So you walk in this shed and there's all these.
people meters and the vibrate, and they got what did he have that vibrated? He had something vibrated to make it like you're walking around with your people meter.
Okay.
So you had to simulate the vibration. And then one day, it's like he's like, Manson, I need you to go to change the people meters to 98, 97.9 for 2 hours to make it look legitimate that you're also listening to something else. And I go out there and I'm like, I ain't fucking doing this.
So you said no?
I just came back in. I was like, I couldn't figure it out, man. Because I was like, I ain't fucking doing that shit. I mean, it's one thing. Every morning show I was ever on, they all got Arbitron diaries from listeners, and and we'd all meet and we'd all fill out the Arbitron diaries so we could get ratings bonuses. That happens everywhere. But to the extent that he was doing it, I was just, man, I just don't really feel comfortable doing this. So I'm going to stay out of it.
How long was that going on?
It seemed like a while.
Yeah.
Seemed like the watch winders in the shed. That seemed to be going on a while. It's like,
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring up. I never asked you about it. I don't know.
no, I didn't ask it like whose they are, what's going on, who you paying. I just was like, oh Jesus.
Yeah.
I may have said something like, can't they track those things or something? You'd think they'd have some kind of GPS thing on those things, but I don't. Yeah, let's just not think about those things.
Right.
I was doing mornings, middays, afternoons. Fucking baller.
Getting up early kind of.
I got used to it.
That's the weird part is now being a little bit older, I get up early anyways, and I'm going, I'm up now. Like, before it wasn't, I always got up, always went to work on time, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a great joy of mine to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, right? But now I find myself waking up earlier and earlier, and I'm going, well, I'm up now. What am I going to do? It's 4 a.m. Why am I up?
You getting up at 4 a.m.?
Some days I just wake up and that's it.
And you get up and do stuff?
It's because it's like it's time to go.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
It's the old phrase, got to, time to make the donuts, and that's to this day. I'll wake up early and I'll just go, time to make the donuts. And even if there's no donuts to make, nothing to do, I can't go back to sleep. So
I feel fortunate.
you can pass back out.
Well, even when I was getting up, and doing the morning show, come weekends, I'd sleep till 10 o'clock.
Oh man, yeah.
I couldn't fall asleep on Sunday nights, but then I get right back into it, getting up early. It didn't bother me. Plus, a lot of times it was like, for me, sometimes it's like 4 and hit the door.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, go home and take a nappy. So it's easy to get up at 4:30 in the morning when like in 6 hours, you'd be laying back to sleep.
Well, like even now, I'll go up maybe to like a 7-Eleven or Circle K or whatever. I grab an energy drink super early in the morning because I'm up, and it's like, all right, let's go ahead and get my day started. But you'll go up there, and man, you'll see like those like landscaping companies and all the employees of landscape be up there like 5 o'clock in the morning, and they are geared up, ready to go. And I'm going, man, they work hard. That's That's a job, and I don't.
That's.
I mean, there.
I mean, I weed eat around here, and then I'm just like, man, I am beat. I just did
Right?
an hour and a half of weed eating. I'm wiped out. Those guys do it for 8 hours.
A crew of like 20 of them, just all up there getting a coffee and hell, a piece of pizza or a hot dog, whatever they're getting at 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, and they're just going. And I don't know how much they're getting paid. I don't even know if they're getting paid above table, below table. I don't care.
know.
But to be rip roaring, ready to go at 5 a.m. to cut lawns all day long, that seems like a task.
It does. I'd like to know how much what are they paying? What are they paying these guys? Like most of them around here appear to be of non-Caucasian
Yes,
descent, and I want to know if they're getting them cheap or if those guys are making a decent penny because they're busting their ass. I don't know. I have no idea.
And I feel like they deserve a pretty decent penny because they are busting their ass and the stuff that you and me ain't doing. That's the bane of our existence is doing yard work and stuff. So I don't know, but I know that also like Florida, they passed this law where you have to be like e-verified to keep illegal immigrants and all this stuff for undocumented workers and stuff. So you have to so I would imagine most of them have to be verified now. I don't unless they're getting around that some way.
Or they just it's all for show and they get around it really easy. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know how much they make.
I don't know.
I mean, you'll see like a lot of these landscape companies now. They're becoming like everything else. They're becoming these giant conglomerates. So if you're you got your one, maybe your 1 or 2 trucks with your 5 employees, and I think you're probably paying them pretty decent.
Man, they roll them deep in those trucks too.
They do.
They squeeze them in there.
It's like a clown car. But I don't think corporate lawn care is paying you as much. I just have a funny feeling corporate lawn care ain't paying you what the average Joe's paying. Plus, the average Joe's probably paying you under the table too.
What's minimum wage now?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
They change it so much. Is it like $12 or something, or is it not even close to? Is it $8? I don't even know.
Man, $12. That's like double from what it was when I was like. Well, I guess that's apropos as far as inflation and times are changing. But I think when I was, it was like $5 an hour.
It says Florida minimum wage is $12 an hour. Now, there's not a federal. Does each state have its own minimum wage?
Yeah, each state.
Okay, so $12 an hour is the minimum, and it's scheduled to go up 2 or 3 more years.
Along with your menu prices and everything else.
$12 an hour. Okay, so that's what's that?
Oh, you doing math?
I'm doing math.
Oh boy.
What's that? It's $80. It's $96. 5 times 9. It's less than $500 a week.
Wait, hold on. So 12 times 40, $480 a week.
Yep.
Pre-tax.
Pre-tax. So you're talking probably
times 4 weeks. That's $19.20 a month times 12 months. That puts you at $23,040.
Before taxes.
Yeah.
Wow,
So that would put you like
shit.
$18K after tax.
Oh my god! And your apartment is $1,200 a month. That's $12,000.
You got to have roommates.
$14,000. So you got $4,000 for your car, your gas, your food, your electricity. You don't even think about fun,
dude. I feel like we harp on this, but it's in reality, it's the truth. Like you have to have roommates or a spouse. You can't do it on your own.
It's a new reality. It's a totally
unless you're living in a tiny house or a shed, like for real. You can't do that on your own.
No, especially if you're a young person. Like I get, like maybe if you're like in your late 20s, early 30s, and you're married and you both have real good jobs, you can do it. But like, my kids are like, man, are we ever going to own a house? And I'm like, I don't think so.
Are you being honest with them?
I don't think so.
I don't think
you're ever going to own a house. And it's crazy to think that was like the American dream. And now the American dream, and you'll have the people, my age or our age or in between who are like, well, when I was young, I worked 2 jobs and blah, blah. It's like, it's different. There were not these costs. Me and Donna were dirt poor, and we had an apartment, and we had a car, and we had like $1,000 in the bank, and we put our money in little envelopes, and once or twice a month we could go out to the bar, go to movies. We lived a perfectly fine life, and now, good luck. A young couple getting an apartment for $1,200, $1,500. Groceries the way they are. Gas was up to $3.79 today.
See, I don't know. That's one of the reasons why I love having an electric car is because of gas. Like it's just nothing's more frustrating and infuriating than looking at the gas pump and just going, that's just money. You see it just disappear.
Just disappearing.
And it disappears so fast when you're at a gas pump. It's like all of it, like you spent $45 in a matter of 3 minutes. It just sucked into your car and you're going, whoa. And I hate the gas station pump. I'm so glad not to have to
I was always the guy, I get gas, I always fill up. It's like, if I'm going to stop for gas, I'm going to fill up. It's like, now I get $23 worth, and it just gets me to a quarter, and I'm like, because I can't even bear to fill that up for like $80 to $100. It's like, oh my God, $80 to $100.
It's principle
for
and
gas.
And you know that over time you're going to spend that money, but to see it come out at once is such a shock to the system. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, it really brings you back down to earth when you finish pumping that big gas tank, and it's like, like $100, and you're like,
and I those big trucks, the big diesel 350, not even diesels, just the big ass trucks in general, and they'll drive by and they'll stomp on their gas and go
belch out their smoke.
Right, I'm going, nice job, you just burned $12, asshole.
Can't even imagine what kind of mileage those guys get.
It's got to be terrible.
Waitresses or tipped employees must be paid at least $8.98 an hour.
Okay. Yeah,
that's $8.98 an hour. Hope you have a good night for tips, or else you're really depressed. It's not much money. $9 an hour.
Yeah, you gotta.
That's what's that? Like $9.56 times like upper 200s or something.
Yeah, you gotta hope for a good night. You got a lot of tables and all that stuff being in the service industry.
I'd be curious to know if, like, in the service industry, if people are like, scaling back on their tips. Because, sure, there's some people who are like, well, we can't afford to go out to eat and tip, but we can afford to go out and eat. And then they just stiff you because there's like, that's their reality now, is like they can't afford a tip and they get a tip. I wonder if that's happening or not.
I don't do that. I just don't go out and eat as much.
I would never do that. I would never, ever do that.
I would not.
We don't go out to eat as much.
Yeah, I would not stiff anybody. I would just be more of the mindset of going, I'm just not going to go out as much.
Yeah, but some people, some people would rather just go ahead and go out and stiff the person so they can keep going out.
Or they do a dine and dash.
Oh, I wouldn't. I don't surprise that more people don't do that. It seemed like the easiest thing to get away with.
Doesn't it? I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick, and then you just leave.
Usually the restaurants have more than one door, and you go to the bathroom, and then just.
That's true.
I don't understand why.
Dine and dash used to be a thing. I felt like it used to be. I don't know if it happens as much anymore or not.
I think what people do now is they just complain about their food and refuse to pay for it.
Okay.
Berlin was working at a restaurant last year, and she was like, so many people that just refuse to pay for stuff. So I don't like it. I'm not paying, and they just do it. They just give it to them for free.
That's a pretty solid move.
I couldn't do that. I could never do that.
I feel terrible about complaining about anything.
I've sent like 2 things back in my life.
Yeah. And you know that when you're sending it back, it's like, what's going to happen back there? Yeah, it's not. It's a big mystery.
Trace said he worked in the kitchen for years, and he said the entire time he was there, he only saw one incident, and it was a guy who was making a hamburger for a cop, so he threw it on the ground and stomped on it. And he said that's the only time he ever saw anybody do anything to food.
I would tell you, I think kitchen folks probably get a bad rap. I think it definitely happens less than you'd think it does, because you got a lot of eyes on you, and especially a lot of these places now, like new construction and new restaurant builds and stuff, they have open kitchens. So you can see everything that goes on.
And they got cameras now and everything too. So
yeah.
But I guess on your last day, it wouldn't matter, would it?
No, I guess not.
Bubba's Rattler, 100 bits.
Woo!
Beaver smell like tuna 300.
Thank you, Beaver. Smell like tuna.
It just rolls off the tongue.
And
now.
Bubba's Rattler.
Just rolls off the tongue. When's the eclipse? Is that the 8th?
Why? What is the big deal with the eclipse?
I don't even. It's because it's a total eclipse. So it'll
Of
be.
the heart.
We had to deal with that. How many years ago? 5 years ago. Yeah. Every news station. Everybody ran the story about the total eclipse, and every radio station played.
Total eclipse of the heart.
Not even that good of a song.
So what's this is a full
Solar eclipse. So that means it's like 100%, I think, darkness.
So let me ask this, or let me say this. Whoop-de-doo.
I know.
Is it a big whoop?
It's a big not for me. I really don't. I'd go out and watch it if it was over my house.
Yeah.
But it's going to be like across the middle of the country.
So are we anticipating something going awry? Is this akin to the Y2K freak out that you had?
No, not for me. But if you look on the internet, they're like, oh, let's prepare for a mass extinction event with this.
Mass extinction
and
event.
I'm like, what does that even mean? We have eclipses all the time. They're just not, they're not that frequent when they're full 100% solar eclipse, and it's only a narrow swath of the country. So what's the big
and even more narrow point in time, right? Because everything's still in motion.
Like an hour and a half. I mean, it's like I don't know how they get any kind of conspiracy out of that. Or if the government just going to use it to bring on the fake alien invasion or something. I don't know. Everybody's looking. It just seems like for the first time in my life, it just seems like everything's building to something. It's like, what's going on? But maybe it just keeps building forever. And nothing ever, until finally, everything turns to shit. But that's a long process. And they just keep throwing this Diddy stuff and bridge collapses and lunar eclipse, mass death events at you, and Russian terrorist attacks. And you're just like, you got no time to think about what's going on.
Do you ever feel like it's, like Elon Musk has kind of mentioned this in the past, and whether or not he's kidding or serious, I have no idea, but that like it's a simulation. Do you ever get the vibe? Because I have recently, I get the vibe sometimes where I'm in a simulation. And it's almost like when I dream.
Yeah.
It's almost like that simulation. It's almost like testing different theories. Because you dream about stuff that's happened in your life, or it's weird, right? But then you wake up and you go, okay, back to it, right? Do you ever feel, I know it's a high thought, right? So I get how it sounds. But do you ever feel like it's a simulation?
I don't know if I don't know exactly what a simulation is.
Like somebody else is running this thing? Like what if you're just a character in somebody else's game? And I don't mean God. I mean like Sims.
So many times it does feel like this is the whole situation is preposterous. This whole Earth and all this is like ridiculous. How did this even come about? Is it even real? And I know none of our history is real, so I don't know what's going on, but sometimes I think this is the jig's going to be up, and we're going to find out about the simulation or the aliens or something, because this is ridiculous.
Or have you ever had a premonition? And then months later, years later, it comes true. Oh man, I thought about it like that. I feel like I've seen this, and then it happens.
No.
Okay, I've had a couple instances like that, and I'm but the simulation theory is just weird. But I used to completely would discount that, and it sounds insane to buy in on something like that. I'm not saying I'm buying in.
Yeah.
But I'm more open to it now than I would have been previously.
That's as plausible as anything else. Kinda,
When they're done with your character, you die? I don't know.
I had a real high thought, but I can't remember it. The simulation. What if our dreams are reality? And this is the dream. And then
flipping it.
And then you forget about your dreams, so you forget about all this. when you're dreaming, you remember bits and pieces.
Yeah.
This is just a dream, and we won't remember tomorrow, or tonight when we go back to reality.
But we have memories of like these moments in time when we're awake. We can retain those memories. I can tell you stuff from when I was 16 or whatever. But when I'm dreaming, I don't retain any of that stuff for more than maybe an hour after I wake up.
Because maybe. See.
Whoa, bro. Hold on.
Okay,
bro.
when you're dreaming, that's your reality, and you don't retain. It's too.
No. Is it?
It could be like it's just the opposite. You know how you don't remember your dreams. Well, maybe when you think you're dreaming, you're actually awake, and you don't remember this shit.
But
and maybe in your dreams you have.
Okay.
You can in your dreams, if you could remember your dreams fully, you would have memories in your dreams because that's the reality.
Okay, wait. Counter argument to that. I hear where you're coming from. My reaction to that is, my dreams can be so preposterous.
Yes.
Like at least this, like what I'm in now, whatever state this is, it's at least weaving together something that you can make sense of. The dreams, they're just all over. It's so scattered and so nonsensical.
That is true.
That, I feel like dream mode would be, it's like the computer's rebooting, and then you wake up and you're back to simulation mode or something like that.
I don't understand. I don't understand dreams.
I don't know,
understand
bro.
dreams at all. It's like, why don't we try to figure out dreams more? It's like the most fascinating thing in the world. It's like I can't think right now. Right now, I'm going to think about I'm going to be on an ocean cruise and I'm going to jump off this ship. I can't. I can think about it, but it doesn't seem real. When you're in a dream, it's like it's real.
Yes.
How can your mind do that? My mind can't do it right now. I can't make myself feel fear. I mean, I've felt terror in dreams, and it's like, I've never felt terror in my life. How do I know what it's like? I feel it in my dreams sometimes.
Oh, see, I've felt that. You've never felt terror in real life?
Like terror, like somebody coming at you with a knife, like they're going to kill you, that kind of terror. Like you scream, like in a dream.
It is weird though that
I'll
you
wake
can...
up, I'll be like, my last thing in my dream is always me going, ah!
Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
But
or you can fly in your dreams. The dreams I've had dreams where I'm flying and I'm going, whoa, I'm flying.
So nice.
And you feel that
you feel the feeling. You feel the feeling of
flight.
flying.
But when you're awake, you could never replicate that feeling.
I'm thinking
of flight.
about flying, and it feels so.
No, you're right.
No, but in your dreams, you fly. You go, woo.
Yeah,
woo.
that is true.
I don't understand, and we don't know dick about dreams. We don't know nothing about them. We don't try to know about them.
They used to have those dream experts, and they would come on those talk shows and stuff, and they would get laughed out of the room. Because they'd put them on the shows with the psychics, and they'd kind of, I don't know. I felt like they all got put into the same little pot,
I think dream interpreters belong in that pot.
Well, then how are we ever going to figure out?
Because they're
dreams?
not real researchers. They're just guys. They're like, it's like the psychics. They know what they're doing. They know how to do it. They know, oh, that was your dream. But let me tell you about what that dream meant, Matt. And you're like, oh yeah. That makes
you mean
a lot of
Sylvia Brown was playing me all those years?
Totally playing you. Who's that guy? What's that guy that had the TV show? South Park did an episode about him. The big guy.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
The big scam guy.
Yeah, I can't remember the name. I know who you're talking about though.
It's just they know how to. They're good at what they do. They're salesmen and they're selling.
But will we ever find out about dreams? Because if dream interpreters don't count, right? And the only other thing there are these things that.
How do you find out about
you
dreams?
sleep and then they attach some little things to you and they go,
some squiggly lines.
Yeah, you got squiggly lines. And
how does that prove anything?
And REM sleep is the good sleep. Like there's I don't know.
And I mean, don't they say that it's your brain releases DMT and that's so it's like is it an hallucination? Is that what it is? When you die, your body releases DMT, and is that that's I don't know. Does that take you to the next dimension, or is it just soften the blow of you dying?
I don't.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I know none of this stuff.
We're
going to Mars.
Yeah. Well, I equate it like Sims. Okay, my daughter was playing Sims, and if you leave the characters without food and without anything,
Starved to death.
they starve to death. Okay.
If you're a
There's nothing different in that game of Sims that there is. And if you turn off the computer, that person just,
they don't exist.
they don't exist. Weird.
If you think about, we're getting really deep tonight. If you think like,
Are people, they think we're nuts?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I think we're nuts.
Does Beaver Smells Like Tuna think we're nuts?
He probably does. If you think back to like 1,000 years ago,
Yeah.
and you could have been either the worst person in the world, the biggest serial killer, or the greatest person in the world, and it's like nobody even knows you exist. And does it even matter? And did you even exist?
Or you go with the reincarnation theory of, okay, in my next life, you're a bird, right? Or whatever. It's like, well, it sounds nuts, but why is that nuts?
It doesn't. I mean, it's almost the most logical one. It's like
You think?
your energy transforms into something that's being born. I don't know how that works since we got 8 billion people now, but
Well, there's a lot of ants and a lot of birds out there too.
that's true. That's true. I don't know.
I felt terrible. There was a giant anthill in my backyard. It was a couple weeks ago. And I was like, I had to go out and
Stomp on it.
stomp on it and murder all these ants. Okay.
I think about that all the time. That kind of stuff too.
Oh, and I'm pouring these granules of stuff on top of them.
Eat it and die.
Yes, and
bastards.
here I am, I am your undertaker, and I'm pouring all this stuff, and slowly the ants come pouring out, right? And
Yeah.
and then you see them all, choking on the poison, and I'm like, die, ants, die. And then I'm thinking to myself, like, oh my God, look, the power that's been given to me to take all these ants, like, I know it's such a microcosm, but like the ants aren't doing anything to me. They're not doing anything to me. They didn't do a thing to me. They just set up shop and they're all serving their master underneath the anthill, just doing what they
Minding
do.
their own business.
And here I come along with a giant vat of poison and just mess their world up.
And if you think about it, what do we know about ants?
They're fascinating.
We don't know. They don't really, I don't think they know. Just because we're humans, we have a brain and we think that's the ultimate. How do you know how they don't communicate in ways and have different thought processes than we do? And we just
Dude, they're building better tunnels than Hamas under that hill.
with their bare hands.
Yeah.
They put us on Earth with no tools and see what we do. We ain't gonna do dick. Maybe they're smarter than us, but they're tiny, so we kill them.
Yeah.
And if there's planets out in the universe that are, like 1,000 times bigger than Earth. There's stars and planets that are ridiculously in proportion to us. They're 1,000 or 10,000 or. Those people would just squash us, and they really wouldn't give a second thought or even try to give a second thought to whether we had any meaning or value at all.
And that's where, how do we know that we're not in a simulation put on by
Somebody way smarter.
Yeah.
I don't know if most people think about this stuff. I think about it all the time.
Oh.
I do. I just try to. There's no way to figure it out because nothing. And if you're like, okay, what's the meaning of life? If somebody was going to actually, there can't even be a meaning to life. What is it?
That's the weird part. Nothing's making sense lately. Nothing's making sense. Everything that's going on in the world isn't
coming to a head. And and the game is we're almost to level 10. Almost to level 10.
Yes, we're on a hype train in life, and eventually the hype something's got to stop. Something's got to give. That's the way I'm feeling. I'm going, all right. Nobody would, and I get you can't predict the future and history. I get all of it, but it just seems weirder and weirder daily, and eventually something's got. It's got to be at a tipping point.
To what?
I don't know.
There you go.
To whoever's heading up this simulation is going to just go, all right, let me pull the plug on this game. Let's start over, right? Like, let's just pull the plug. like you did on Nintendo back in the day. When the game would freeze up and you couldn't take the cartridge out and blow on it and put it back in, you just unplugged the game.
Plugged it. Or are this is just the way the world is, and there's just a few powers that be which are controlling everything. But it's like, well, what's their deal? It's like, well,
Hey, Rothschilds, what's your deal?
just born like a huge cocksucker, and all your children and their heirs are cocksuckers who want to destroy the world except for a very small amount of people and take everything for yourself. I guess that's possible.
Again, another thing I don't
Possible.
understand. However, if you look at any video game or any there's all you have hierarchies and characters in video. It would be the same thing. And if we were in a simulation, right, you would have more powerful people in the simulation. They play the game better.
You got Mario and Luigi, and you got Peaches. You know, and you got, and you got the guy, the mean guy.
Oh, what was
It's
his?
like a
Was that
dinosaur.
was that the not the mushroom guy? I know. Yeah,
I can't
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Mario
That guy.
Kart. That's the only game I ever played with my kid. I still couldn't beat him, but I could compete. I could be the last lap. I'm like, yeah, I'm finally gonna win. Mario could. Then immediately I'm like hit with a turtle, and I shrink down to nothing and lose and come in last place.
Hit with a turtle.
You sons of bitches.
Oh man,
Mario Kart.
it's all very weird.
I don't know if we figured anything out.
No. We're just hanging, man.
We're hanging,
just
and
hanging.
getting deep. I like to. Yeah, I enjoy talking about stuff because I think it's like that. It's like there's so many things that we don't know and so many possibilities, and there's so much in the past that is such bullshit. You know, and now you realize you were lied to about a lot of stuff, and you think about so what do they say the Earth is? Whether that's true or not, it's like 20, 30 billion years. You know how many incarnations of people or different, have come and gone? There's no evidence of anything that happened a billion years ago. Zero. You don't know what was on the Earth a billion years ago. It could have been.
Yeah, what do we got? We're going with sediment.
Or it could have been a huge society.
Well, yeah,
And then they got destroyed, and
yeah.
and then there's nothing.
You
There's
go to-
nothing from there's stuff from Roman times, which is what 1,000, 2,000 years ago. There's nothing from 50,000 years ago. There's nothing.
I don't know. You got
Nothing.
again. You go back to like that simulation theory. All right, the goal of this level is to build the biggest pyramid, and then after whoever builds the biggest pyramid,
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the different eras.
they go, okay, we're gonna unplug the game, and they plug it back in, and then okay, dinosaurs. All right, the goal of this game is to become the biggest, most terrifying, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And every different incarnation, as you said, just has a different sort of goal in that in that game.
And the people we're up to level 10. And
Yeah.
the only guys left are the best players who are bloodthirsty to win this game, and they're mother effing everybody. And that's why you have what we have today. It's just a big F job across the world.
And then it's going to get
And then
unplugged.
it's going to be it's going to be over. Somebody's going to win the game, and we'll just go.
Yep. Everybody go to sleep. Weird.
Maybe not. Maybe we're completely
yeah.
full of shit.
Or everything's good. One of the two.
We'll find out April 8th when the eclipse
Oh yeah, the
causes a
eclipse.
mass death event.
That's right. Things are going to get crazy.
Is there anything coming up after that? I mean, just there's this. To me, it feels like this year before the election, there's going to be something, and then we're not even going to have an election. This is like they've pushed the system of democracy. They've sucked it dry so bad and corrupted it so bad, and it's like, yeah, it's over. 34 trillion is coming home to roost, and they're going to start a war or something. Fake alien invasion. I don't know. Or I could be completely. It'll just go
yeah.
on and on with the bullshit.
Yeah, or they'll just have an election like they normally do, but everything now is judged as a conspiracy, so it'll just go down as another conspiracy,
So
even if it's not.
I don't know what
Or if it is.
Like if tomorrow there were alien ships in the sky, visible, I could see they
Thought about this last week. What
And-
would you do?
and I wouldn't, but I wouldn't know if it was real. It's like the government's got that technology, or else they've got some kind of AI that they can project things into the sky, and it's all a big thing. We must do what the aliens tell us, and then they take total control of the world.
Yeah, what would you do if you step outside tonight? Okay,
And there was an alien.
big alien ship out there. Big. What would you do?
I don't know. I'd lock my doors and go back in the house.
See, and
What else are you gonna do?
wouldn't that be the most like? That's the initial reaction, but like, what's that going to help out with, right? You got to try to get out of there. You got to try to go, but like, I don't even know what that looks like.
Where you?
Because what are you going to go in your house and lock your door for what?
Yeah, but what are you gonna do? Go pack up a few things and drive to the hills of Missouri?
And then another one pops up.
Yeah, you know, it's like, what do you do? Lock the door and hope for the best. I don't know. Fake alien. It's gonna be fake.
Next simulation starting soon.
Fake alien invasion. Lock it in.
You going with fake alien invasion?
I am.
For 200. That's it. It's official.
Going with fake alien invasion. Or it could just be more traditional. So you've got the Ukraine thing, and at any time, like with this terrorist attack, they can ramp it up, and all of a sudden turn it into something way. I mean, you're talking about.
I'm definitely going cyber attack.
Cyber attack against us, or
Cyber attack with a smidge of that high frequency
EMP.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we be planning a cyber attack and EMP on China or Russia before we think they're going to do it to us?
I'm sure we are.
So we are. So everybody's trying to hack each other.
Everybody's playing the game.
They say, don't they say like the Defense Department repelled 196,000 cyber attacks from China today.
Yeah.
It's like,
allegedly.
So how soon before you just go, AI, show me the best way to hack the most sophisticated security systems in the United States? Is that a thing? Doesn't AI know everything?
It's getting there.
I mean, it just knows everything on the internet, which is everything, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The whole thing's it's such a trip.
AI, they say AI it's gonna cause an energy crisis because it takes so much more energy to produce AI. I don't even understand what that means, but
yeah, I don't either.
Like Bitcoin mining, they say the Bitcoin mining saps.
It uses a lot of energy.
A lot of energy.
Yeah, yeah.
So
but I don't know why.
I don't either.
Like
I don't know why.
I know if you watch videos on YouTube of like the Bitcoin farms, like the machinery is just loud, right? It's loud, and so you'll find these like Bitcoin mining, warehouses.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to put on your headphones before you get these earmuffs before you step in there because the equipment's so loud and there's so much energy running through there. But I don't know how all that goes.
I don't know how much their power bill. A big power bill. I don't know. It's all I'm a simple man.
I'm a simple man. I like my processors and chips non-NVIDIA.
Just want to be left alone.
Well, whoever's running your character in the simulation theory.
Obviously, sometimes I'll look up at the sky and I'll flip it off or I'll laugh at it and like what I don't know what's up there. The game player, the controller guy.
Yeah,
maybe it's him, and I'm like, "Fuck you!" I don't know if that's gonna help me or not.
It depends on who's running your.
Maybe they love it.
Who your master is? I don't know.
Maybe they said, "Oh, how about some diverticulitis for you, motherfucker?" See how you like? Yeah, how you like them apples?
You flick this off.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah, incurable diverticulitis. Most people can cure it, not you, buddy. Eat that. You can eat those fingers, you son of a bitch. All right, thanks for listening to The Hang.
Download us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and
YouTube,
all that stuff.
And then coming up, the overtime, only available on clusterfshow.com.
Thanks for hanging with us and enjoying our high thoughts.
Yeah, I'm gonna go die. All right, man. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. Cluster F.